Right, welcome ladies and gentlemen to Venom The Last Dance review. This will be spoilers, to be honest, because you can't really talk about this movie without much spoilers. There's not really much to spoil either. All the trailers gave everything away. There's some slight stuff at the end. But I also think spoilers are probably necessary because there'll be people expecting like certain things to happen, and it's important to let you know it won't, so don't go and watch it if you wanted those things to happen. This movie, man, this franchise, my god, 3 movies. 3 movies they've made of these, and each has progressively got worse and worse and worse. Like genuinely worse and worse and worse. This movie is what it is. It's not hugely offensive. It feels like a comic book movie made kind of for idiots, to be honest. Yeah. It feels like a comic book movie made for idiots or children. Which I guess it kind of is, because Avi Arad, one of the producers, did say he makes these for his grandkids. So, yeah. But it had its moments. And there's a strange charm to Eddie Brock and Venom and their interaction. But I don't think they've ever managed to find the balance that they once had at the start. They never managed to rekindle that balance between serious and comedic. They embraced the comedic just a little bit too much. Became a bit slapsticky with it. But anyway, what's the story? Well, the xenophage have been let loose from Null. And that, I guess, brings me on to one of my first issues with this movie. So it opens with Null giving us an exposition on who he is. But he's not talking to us, he's talking to his xenophage, who presumably know who he is because he made them. I hate exposition when it's meant for the audience, but it's addressing someone in universe that would already know this, and it doesn't make any goddamn sense. It really annoys me. I know that's like really particular, but yeah, it irks me quite a lot when people do that. So yes, Null looks cool though. You don't really see much of him, but he does look cool. And yeah, basically he's trying to hunt the Codex. No, wait, this isn't Man of Steel. A Codex is formed when a symbiote brings someone back from the dead, I guess. Well, that's what they say explicitly in the movie. And this Codex can free Null from his prison on Clintar. Alright. So that's why he sends a xenophage to Earth. He sends xenophages everywhere to go hunt for the Codex that has been activated. So he was like, oh, I can get freedom. Like, he looks cool. But he's a villain that they should have started with. Right? Like teased as they were going through. And then had all the other symbiotes, you know, be an element working towards Null. Throwing him in right at the end, when this is supposedly the last outing of Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock and Venom, just seems really dumb. Really dumb from a narrative point of view. And then basically Eddie Brock is in the universe that we saw him in last. He gets sucked through into his original universe. And then he's on the run again. Because people think he murdered the cop at the end of Let There Be Carnage. He obviously didn't do that. It was all Carnage and whoever else. I can't remember any of these bloody names anymore. And then he's on the run. He gets picked up. Chiwetel Ejiofor plays Rex Strickland, if I remember rightly. Rex Strickland. Some sort of army boss working at Area 51. But he's not working at Area 51. He's working at Area 55, which is underground. Rhys Ifans is in this. No, he's not playing the Lizard. He's just playing a weird hippie freak that loves aliens and wants to drag his family around to go find aliens at Area 51. So it then sort of goes into a bit of a breakneck pace, actually. So once Tom Hardy's Eddie Brock is in our world, his world, sorry, the xenophage finds the xenophage finds him, and then he's basically just trying to get across, well, across the country. And it does move at quite breakneck pace. And there's some funny elements in this, you know, like Venom Frog, Venom Fish, Venom Horse. It's all kind of fun, I guess. It's not really offensive. The thing about this movie is, to comic book fans, it'd be offensive, I think. If you love Venom as a comic, you'd be like, this is fucking dog shit. But if you're like, I just want like a popcorn flick, it's not majorly offensive, but it is like roll your eyes stupid at certain points and like kind of dumb. But it's also kind of sweet. It sort of works, but sort of doesn't. I really don't know what to think of it, to be honest. It's such a weird feeling it left me with. Like, really quite bizarre. Anyway, Eddie Brock gets picked up by Rex Strickland. There's other symbiotes at Area 55. They tell everyone working there that, hey, the planet's coming, Noel's coming, he's going to get you. And a bunch of them just die really easy. The xenophage as well, just as an FYI. It's quite cool. Quite a cool design. It's a very current design of Hollywood. But it's still a kind of a cool design. But when he eats stuff, when the xenophage eats stuff, like, it minces it up and squirts it, sprays it out the back of its head, which is quite cool. It's alright. It's quite cool. So anyway, yeah, Eddie Brock gets caught, captured. Rex Strickland's like, oh, I'm going to kill you. And he's like, no, don't kill me, where's my friend? We get a bit of She-Venom briefly. And Venom realizes he needs to sacrifice himself, because one of them has to die to break the codex. For some reason. Sure, fine. So this is the last dance of them together. The end of the movie is Venom being doused in acid and being blown up. But is he actually dead? Probably not. For some unbeknownst reason. I don't really... It's such a weird movie. I think they were leaving it open just in case this made good money. But, nah. And that's kind of it, really. You get loads of other Venoms doing bits and pieces, but they're kind of cannon fodder. They get killed pretty quickly and easily. Juno Temple's character gets left with an electric symbiote. I've been saying Venoms, haven't I think. Gets left with an electric speedster symbiote. Just like, alright, fine. It's so poorly written or poorly directed. There's weird scenes that don't really make any sense. There's not really any point to having them there. And it is Kelly Marcel's, who was one of the writers on all of these movies, actually. It's her first directorial debut, if I remember rightly. And it really does show. But it's not horrendous. It's not great either. It's almost like Kelly Marcel and Tom Hardy sat down and was like, oh, this would be a cool Venom scene. Yeah, love that. You know what would also be a cool Venom scene? This would be a cool Venom scene. Oh, yeah, love that. And then they just kind of stitched it all together. That's probably the best way to describe it. And they tried to have a coherent story. But anyway, yeah, Null is teased at the end. Like, he's still alive. He's still awake. He can still break free. The Codex is still around. Presumably. Venom's still alive. And there's no Spider-Man. There's no teasers of Spider-Man. There's nothing really. It was a bit shit, to be honest. Like, with that. I don't know what people were talking about. But there you go. I don't really have much else to say. It was just it was a whole lot of nothing, you know. Like I said, the best way to describe it is a series of scenes that Tom Hardy and Kelly Marcel thought were cool. And then they just stitched it together with a paper-thin plot. Yeah. gone out with a fart and a whimper as Venom. Shame. If you've watched it, what did you guys think? Let me know down below. Cheers, take care. Bye-bye now.